Hi guys, it's me, Essie Magic, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how I started my jewelry business, part 2. First off, if you didn't see the first video where I talk about what sort of business model you should choose, where I talk about manufacturing and sourcing, I think you should go to that video first. I'm going to put a screenshot up here. Or you can just keep watching this. Either way, you're getting great information. This video though, I'm gonna focus on the point in which you already have your manufacturing and sourcing happening, and now it's time to start all the other business stuff that you need. So let's go. So after you have all of your jewelry in the works, maybe it's being mailed to you, maybe you are manufacturing it, so it's literally being made somewhere else. At this point, you really should have your website registered. If you don't have your website registered, you're missing out on the opportunity to be building all this stuff you need to have done in parallel path of when you're sourcing the materials. So no matter what, there's gonna be a waiting period, whether it's waiting for your shipments of your inventory to arrive or it's still in manufacturing. You're gonna have some weeks, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. If it's less, you'll be fortunate, but it's likely going to be pretty long time, and so you don't want to be wasting all that time while you could be getting other things done. So by this point, I had my website registered and I was now typing up all the descriptions, putting all of the about me page, all of those details that at this point I had a good idea what my brand identity was, because by this point I've designed so many pieces in my jewelry brand that I know the identity. So I was able to start writing all the FAQ pages, talk about the quality, talk about the about me or our story pages, filling all that stuff in the meantime. This honestly was so smart because by the time I got the actual jewelry in hand, I was so close to being ready to go. Personally, I chose Shopify as my website of choice. It's so easy to use. The integration with all these apps is so good. So honestly, I recommend Shopify to anybody who's starting an e-commerce store. Trust me. We can get into more details about Shopify another time, but I'm not gonna get into all of it right now, especially because this video is not sponsored by Shopify. So yeah, get it registered, fill all your business information, and then you'll be on your way. The next thing I did was social media account creation, because one thing you gotta make sure you do is, even if you're not ready to start posting on social media, you should reserve the names. Also, while I was doing this, I was preemptively making content, just stacking, accumulating content, because at this point I at least had the samples of the product. So I was able to just make all these videos, get my friends, family involved, to make all this content that I was just kind of archiving, building up my library of content. So that way when I'm ready to launch, I have so much selection of content to post on social media, especially in vertical video. So make sure that you record in vertical video. It can be used on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. Trust me, it's gonna be very valuable to have all this vertical video. The next thing I did was I registered a CRM, which stands for Customer Relations Management. This is an email marketing tool. You can use MailChimp or HubSpot. I choose Klaviyo. Some people call it Klaviyo, but I use Klaviyo, which from my experience working in marketing for so many years, I've worked with so many startups and brands, and so many of them would end up switching to Klaviyo after, because they were just like, hey, yeah, whatever I was using before, it was too hard. Let's just do Klaviyo. So I knew that from the get-go, and that was what I registered. And because now I had my Shopify page set up, or not the full website set up, but at least the back end set up, I was able to then put a waiting list cover page on the site, connect it to my Klaviyo email marketing service, and be collecting like waiting list emails or pre-emails that you collect, so that once you launch the website, you can email all the people and say, I'm here, my brand is launched. So collecting emails is very, very important. So again, this is all happening while the inventory is being manufactured. Then the next thing after this was one of the most fun parts of all, photo shoot time. who doesn't love a photo shoot? Working with models and a professional photographer. I even had a makeup artist on set. It was a set. It was a small set, but it was a set. And it was so fun. And it just, those are the moments where you remember why you're doing something like this, because getting to have my creative juices all express themselves and just be out there. Oh, it was amazing. So anyway, photo shoot. I did all of the people that were part of the photo shoot, I found them on Craigslist. I know people think that's sketchy, it's dangerous, but I'm somebody who knows how to maneuver Craigslist really well. Living in LA for so long, you learn how to navigate a lot of things, especially in my early days when I was doing so many gigs. Oh my gosh. So I'm pretty good at sussing out, you know, the bad news on Craigslist and finding the good people. So I found the models on Craigslist, I found the photographer on Craigslist, the makeup artist on Craigslist, and then my cousin was so nice during this time period. She flew over to LA to help me in this whole setup period. So she was my production assistant, helper on set, my hairstylist, my like literally doing everything on set. So, and I mean hairstylists for the models, not me. The next thing I did was hire a virtual assistant to start actually posting the content on social media. So teaser clips and just starting to build up the following on social media so that when I launch, I already have some audience. Similar to the whole email thing, you want to start building up an audience on social media. So that was one thing that the virtual assistant was able to help me do. I'm gonna be transparent that I have virtual assistants who, well, I only have one right now, but actually no, I have two technically. You gotta face it, you can't do everything yourself. And outsourcing some things is important. Social media curation, I think, is something that can easily be outsourced. So I hired somebody who helps me post on the social media page now, and at the time was, you know, I had somebody doing the teasers and getting the page ready. And on social media, I would then link to that coming soon cover page I mentioned, again, building up email. Now that the photo shoot was done, I was then able to do the next step, which was to actually finish the website. Once I got all the photos from the photographer, I was like the professional ones, I was able to actually finish all the product pages and the home page and all that. So that was the next step, and honestly, it was so rewarding to see the website coming to life and see all of the hard work coming together. Like, I am a legit business. Once you see that website go up, it's like, we are here. Now that I knew the website and the branding, it was time for the next step, which was to order and design my packaging. One thing that I must say is I get a lot of compliments on my packaging and my branding. People are like, how did you design your branding? It's so nice and modern and chic. I designed it all myself with help from me. So it's a real, honestly, it feels so good to get that compliment because I literally designed it all myself without any help. I mean, I have that background in marketing, so that, you know, helps a little bit, but so anyway, as I mentioned in this step, it's time to design and order the packaging. So for me, the packaging was really important to be environmentally friendly, eco-friendly, which I've mentioned in my videos before. And also to have some freebies. I wanted to give some gifts to people. I wanted to have a nice unboxing experience. So with that, there's several components that I needed in my packaging. So first up, I ordered these boxes, which this is the most boring part, to be honest, of the of the packaging, these boxes. But within these boxes, that's when the magic comes alive, because I have tissue paper, and maybe I'll overlay some of the stuff that goes in a box. But I ordered the tissue paper. I also started ordering all my gifts. I wanted to give a free polishing cloth for every order. So inside of this is a polishing cloth that also says ZAM jewelry on it, in addition to this, the casing ZAM on it. So that is one of the things that I had to order. And keep in mind, when you order these things, they take a while. They can take up to like 4 weeks. So I ordered this on Etsy, I believe it was. these polishing cloths. I also include a jewelry care guide that has tips on how to take care of your jewelry, because believe it or not, even if your jewelry is high quality, you still have to take care of it. So I do have these tips as well that I include with every order. I ordered this in Santa Monica, nowhere exotic. Also a welcome card. I wanted to have a welcome card as well that welcomes them to the Zam Jewelry family, and I have a little nice note. For those of you who know, or who have ordered, I do a little handwritten note on here as well. So that was another thing I ordered. For the actual box that I mentioned, I ordered stickers to like seal it shut, although it closes naturally anyway. Again, it's for the aesthetics, right? I also have these other stickers that I got to stick the tissue paper as well, the black tissue paper. And then of course, we cannot forget the actual Zam Jewelry box that all of the jewelry sits in. So let me see if I can get this too. There we go. Oh, there's a little mark on that one. It's a sample version. So anyway, so the Zam Jewelry comes in this box, and you know, that's how I package them together. And of course, we cannot forget one of the most exciting parts of the packaging. These super cute organic cotton bags that I ordered as well. They are compostable, they're organic cotton, they are super cute. These took about also like 2 to 4 weeks to arrive. So again, it's good to get your product packaging orders out of the way so you have that time of, you know, the production time happening at the same time as the manufacturing and inventory with the jewelry. And so there's one other thing, which is a storage pouch that I include also as a free gift. I don't seem to see one around me right now. So I'll just overlay a picture of the storage pouch. So as you can see, I had a ton of packaging because I want to have a great unboxing experience for every customer. So it was more work, right? And it costs more money. So you have to factor that into your cost. But for me, it's worth it. So anyway, something to think about how you want to do your own branding and your own packaging. Just make sure you give enough lead time so that everything arrives on time. Forgot to mention, also you want to get your poly mailers for mailing. I have my compostable plant-based poly mailers here also. Again, eco-friendly. So all these things, you got to order it because it takes a while to arrive. The next thing on the list, and you know what? I might have done this one a little bit later than you should, but I was just so busy it happened this way, was the trademarking portion of your business. If you've got a name that you really love, you got to make sure you trademark it so nobody else can use it. And before you actually submit the trademark application, you should make sure you do an audit as well to make sure that nobody else is already using your name. So I did this search way before I actually submitted the trademark application, but something on your list to do. Don't leave it to the last minute. Definitely make sure you get your trademarking in because it can take a long time, especially with the pandemic. There has been so many more delays in a lot of federal services. And so it took my trademark like 8 months or something just to like reach the examiner's desk. So definitely get your trademark registered and submitted. If you don't know how to do it yourself, seek legal help. I'm not a professional. I get a little, you know, hustly and try to do things myself, roll up my sleeves. So I did it myself, but there's been times where I didn't do it myself. So just whatever you're feeling is the easiest once you look up the instructions, but I recommend legal advice at the minimum, even if you do submit the final application yourself. All right, and then at this point in the process, the next step was to actually count all my inventory because all my inventory had finally arrived. It was such an exciting day to see all of my inventory in person. And again, that feeling of like my business is really launching. So get your inventory organized. You got to count every piece. You got to track it in your website so that way when people purchase, it automatically is deducted from the site and you don't have to do anything manually. You got to count it also to make sure that the manufacturer sent you the right amount. You didn't get cheated or anything like that or any mistakes. Also examine the inventory. I also in the process of counting the inventory, I was examining it for defects and things that, you know, could not be good. So going through your inventory was that next step that I did, and it was actually quite fun, to be honest. So yeah, you'll find your way around, this process. I'm sure over time it won't be as fun, especially when you have a lot of inventory, but it was the next step in my process. And the very last step before launch was to get my actual studio and everything organized in a way that felt right for me, getting my tables, getting my chairs, my drawers, just organizing it to make it look good, to be like, I am a business owner, this is my studio space, I'm gonna set it up, I'm gonna decorate it. This studio is actually not the original studio space I had. This is now after I brought my space home and do the work at home. But I did have a studio space in downtown LA in the fashion district, which was, that's just so cool to have your business in the fashion district if you're a business in that industry. I will overlay some footage there. But yeah, that was the fun part. Once that was done, I was ready to go, and yeah, business was launched, did the announcement video, email to the email list, and we were good. So yeah, that is the end of my video, how I started my business, my jewelry business part 2. I hope this helped you. I am rushing a little bit because the battery is gonna die on the camera. But if you have any other tips for how you launched your business and your brand and the process, leave it in the comments below. Of course, make sure you give it a thumbs up because that always helps me out as well. And of course, subscribe if you want to continue to watch me on my journey with growing Zam Jewelry. I will share it and document it here. That is pretty much it. I've been Essie Magic, and as I always like to say, keep being magic. Bye!